face palm. Okay, let's watch this West report. Exclusive. UN Commissioner President Herzog should be arrested. The West report. Okay, we'll watch a couple of minutes of it. And then you tell me. Oh, probably you can't because this is a one-way conversation, isn't it? I don't like one-way conversations because I like to have questions in my conversation because it's not all about me. Anyway, we'll watch this, and I'll tell you. I'll point something out there. Many of you might have already pointed this out. Anyone who's capable of critical thought and basic the social sciences of cause and effect and human behaviour will see what's retarded about this. Anyway.
All right, welcome to the West Report live stream with lawyer Chris Sidoti. We're going to talk about the President of Israel's pending visit, his looming visit. That's Isaac Herzog. It's a very controversial visit. And Chris, and we'll just title him as a prominent Australian international human rights lawyer, advocate and expert in national human rights institutions. He is currently a commissioner on the UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestine territory, including East Jerusalem and Israel. Welcome, Chris. You say that there is legal scope and perhaps a moral duty to arrest Isaac Herzog on arrival in Australia. Can you tell us why and on what grounds?
Yes, Michael. Legal scope and moral duty, both. The law is not beyond doubt, I have to say. In the past, it's been traditional that heads of state have immunity, head of state immunity, when travelling to foreign countries. But that old principle is being gradually broken down, and it's now argued by many international lawyers that head of state immunity doesn't apply to what are called atrocity crimes, that is, genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Our Commission of Inquiry has found that Herzog, the President of Israel, is responsible for incitement to genocide, which is one of these atrocity crimes. And so, in my view, head of state immunity doesn't apply to Herzog when he is visiting Australia, because of this conclusion from the Commission that he is responsible for incitement to genocide. That means he should be arrested, he should be investigated. If there is evidence sufficient for prosecution, he should be prosecuted. Now, I would see that as a legal duty, but also as an ethical duty. Herzog is coming here having made these incendiary statements himself, but also coming here as head of state of a rogue state. The Commission of Inquiry has been found by the International Court of Justice to be responsible for the unlawful occupation of Palestine, unlawful settlements in Palestine. The Israeli leadership has been found by the International Criminal Court to be subject to arrest and trial for crimes against humanity and war crimes. There is a genocide case against Israel before the International Court of Justice. There is plenty of evidence to say that the head of state of Israel, a rogue state, should not be welcome as a visitor to this country. So both on law and on ethics, I would argue that he should not be coming here, he should not have been invited, the invitation should be withdrawn, and if he comes, he should be arrested and investigated.
So he will be investigated under the Australian Criminal Code, is that correct?
Both under the Australian Criminal Code and under international law. We do have provisions in our criminal code covering the crime of incitement to genocide. So it's an Australian crime, it's not just an international crime, but in the same way, it's a crime under international law. So the investigation can proceed under both bodies of law.
Come on. Wait, what?
Right, now what's the important part of all that? I do some of these videos in a way to try to get you to switch something on yourself. What? Anybody in the class? Anybody in class? Put your hand up and say aye if you can see what was wrong with all of that. Let's just say that this is more of a police officer's class, shall we? A detective class or a CIA class or something. Anyone put their hands up and say aye who knows what's wrong? I'll tell you exactly what's wrong. Too bad if they were setting up a sting to get him out of his country into a country of neutrality with extraditional laws, not non-extraditional laws, so that they could get him in front of an international court. Idiot just warned him on social media. So in other words, it's a storm in a teacup, people. So meanwhile, all this is going on. Got all these people popping out of the woodwork everywhere. Which Australians are named in the Epstein files? And what have we got? We got on the Daily Oz, whoever that is. And we got pictures of Clyde Palmer and Kevin Rudd and Bill Gates. I'm just looking down the list on the side here, and you know, it's only a matter of time before they start talking about Paul Keating and his daughter, and it's kind of like so. It's okay, they probably had something to do with the Trilateral Commission at some point. Not members of, people of influence. People... let me think. Well, Kevin Rudd's been to Epstein Island. Donald Trump's been to Epstein Island. Yet Donald Trump acts like he doesn't know Kevin Rudd. And then doesn't like him, and then Kevin Rudd loses his job as ambassador to the United States. What are we watching right now? It's a mulligan. They're dirtying the waters up that much that nothing's going to be admissible in the court of law. We've got all that going on. We've got the AOC case going on with... which is flying through Congress like Ayrton Senna around a simple track back in the day, in a car that was slow enough, so slow that you couldn't crash it. Like Steve Kinser on a Saturday night. For Australia's guys, okay, like Max Dumpsney, Gary Rush. Local people, like Callum Harper on a Saturday night. Like Denzel Mead and the Ted Eustace Firebird. And there they go on. Like Big Ed Wilbur and the Chevy Monza. With, you know, AI porn and deepfake porn in this case of prove it is, prove it isn't. You can't prove either or. So nothing's going to come of it. But what's going on? We've got Oracle, Cernum or something it's called, Palantir, all getting hooked up all around the world, in all the Western countries, which is all of our digital data, our medical records, everything all getting shared in a non-stop moving cloud of digital data farms, databases, you know, like the one in Florida, I believe, and a few other places. Like the 9-level deep database underneath the ballroom at the White House that's just finished being built, or the one in Jerusalem that they're building a second one of. to the tune of something like $32 billion. How much did the ballroom cost again? It's a mulligan. When they scratch the scorecard, you're entitled to a mulligan off the first tee off. Well, we know how much Donald Trump loved to play golf. He knows what a mulligan is. It's when your first shot, the first shot for the day off the first tee off on the first hole is a bit, you're probably a bit stiff and a bit, unfocused, a bit jittery. We'll give you that one. It's when they don't score that first stroke if the ball goes astray or you top it, slice it, hook it, skyrocket it, put it in the drink, in the sand trap, whatever. You can get. It's a gentleman's. In competition doesn't count, but in a gentleman's game, we'll give you that one, mate. Have another go. It's called a mulligan. And a mulligan is a reset. So what we're witnessing is the actual reset that everyone thought that Donald Trump was fighting against. No, he is the reset. Sorry to tell you. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't see it. A few things now and then just pop up and go, oh! And then I think, hang on, just remember. And then he'll give us something. He'll give us something that we want. He'll throw us a bone just to keep us keen. Treat them mean and keep them keen. Chuck old Rover a bone now and then, so he thinks he's the special dog. When the other dog's inside, sitting by the fire, and old Rover who lives out in the shed doesn't even know they exist. Yeah. He thinks he's got it good. I just see a con. That's all. Now and then I've got to pull myself up because I think, oh, maybe, and then, so, damn, he let me down again. So there's no point naming people. What's the point naming people on the Epstein files? It's just a name and a file. It's a list of names. It's a list of names that may or may not have done something on a questionable island. Well, the island's not in question, it's there. The activities are questionable. The people who went there are questionable and probably still go there. But we're not going to be able to prove whether it's real or whether it's a deep fake. You or me, average Joe punter, no one's going to be able to prove that. And you watch, things are just going to come out that hard and fast now. It's going to be like, fucking, it's too much. It's going to be overwhelming. There's no way. See, what's one of the there's another old trick in the book. Someone's pinned being guilty for doing something. Say, I don't know, you got a serial killer or somebody who's he's got a modus operandi of a certain pattern, and they've got him in for questioning or in remand or imprisoned awaiting court. And while all cameras are on him in a prison cell, exactly the same crime gets committed again. Somewhere else in the country, or just, we can't prove beyond reasonable doubt that it's him now because it's just happened again while we've had him in prison. If you can't prove they've got a partner, or if they got too many partners and you can't prove which one's it, because everyone just, no, it wasn't me, it was him. The opposite to that, no, it wasn't him, it was me. Because nowadays they'll just go, oh, well, we'll just lock his all up then. Kind of like the game that's been played with all the money from Epic Park, where they all pretend to hate each other and all blame each other and seem to have some kind of a valid story, but everybody's valid story is just as good as everybody else's valid story. And we can't be investigated. as long as there's no loose lips to sink the ships. Dead men tell no tales. Compromised men tell no tales. I'm starting to sound like a criminal mastermind now, aren't I? No, I just understand the game of chess. I'm not even a great chess player, but I understand the game. Comprehend the game. Oh, there's that nasty word, understand. It's another great game. It's another great game people do not quite get the strategy of. If you get two people that are clicked on, it seems like a really, really simple game. Chinese checkers. But if you've got two people that know how to play it, you use each other's pieces to their disadvantage and your own advantage. It does become a bit of a complex game. Only one man ever to beat me in Chinese checkers was my grandfather. Ever. I'm usually across the other side with the other triangle full and the other person's still trying to get their pieces out of the first triangle. Not even halfway across the board. I'm not trying to be a smart ass. It's just strategy. Basic, simple strategy and forming patterns and bridges. And blockades. It's quite a simple game. But it teaches you cause and effect, and it teaches you to think a few moves ahead, and if he moves there, then he stuffs that up. So at the same time as building that bridge, I've got to build a second fork off of that bridge. So at any given time I can go, and I've formed myself a pathway around their blockage. It means setting up a plan B without them noticing that the plan A is the plan B and the plan B is the plan A, and they both work together. How many times over can you do that until you get up to plan Z? Now everyone's confused. You see, there's a few different types of information. You can either hide information, or you can overwhelm everyone with so much information they don't know what to do with it all. And everyone's information that they get, due to algorithms, goes against that person's information, and it goes against that person's information. So instead of using algorithms, you have to type stuff into your search bar and look for stuff that contradicts your thought. Something that you got to look for things that's like, all right, I found this pattern, but that could be the algorithm feeding that to me. I might have to watch a couple of episodes or look at a few things of people that I don't like. People who I think are full of shit. Because if they can debunk my theory, then I'm back to the drawing board. And maybe they are right. You don't have to like them for them to be right or wrong. Because unless you're prepared to do that, you're always going to be wrong. Anyway, just be prepared for the big letdown. Because either way, like no matter which way this goes, there are going to be a lot of people disenfranchised, a lot of people that are going to lose everything, a lot of people hurt. There is no way that everybody comes out of this smelling like roses and they just catch the bad guys and happy days. It's never going to work that way. It's never going to work that way because everyone's got a price. I have one, but I'm not telling you what it is, and I think it's pretty obvious what it'd be. And the only way that you will buy that is if I take its place. But there would have to be a strategy involved. Because there's no way I'd ever let that happen. I would never let the compromise happen without an exit strategy. Not for me. You get where I'm coming from? Because how can you guarantee that somebody's going to stick to a deal if they're prepared to take your life? Fuck it, I'll take them both anyway. What's he going to do? He's dead. All three of them. Get me? God bless you.